Did they have to put Felix and Pieface on first?
That seems to be their thing. They get the Bucks match on first, I guess, to start things hot and heavy for all the Buckaroos out there. But the pay-per-view, the tag match with the Young Bucks was on first. I feel like we've seen them on first a lot on Dynamite, actually.
Do you think they're doing it on purpose just so they can get out of there and not get any of the rest of the show on them?
No, I think they're responsible for the rest of the show as much as any of the executive vice presidents and Mr. Khan, but I think it is AEW's attempt to, let's start hot. We're not fans of the Young Bucks style of matches, but certainly it will be nonstop spots and lots of near falls. If you're going to start hot, that would be what you would do.
All right, well, let's start hot then. It was Felix with Pac, and now Felix is no longer partners with his brother, Penthouse. The Lucha Bros are no more because now Felix and Pac are getting a shot at the tag team title, and Penthouse is mad at Cody, as we'll find out later on in the program. And Felix takes on Pieface with his brother Balding. We're not calling them the Young Twinks anymore. I've received several emails from gay men that say that is insulting to twinks, that they do not fit the twink image, and that they're not appealing to those men, so I'm not going to insult twinks anymore.
You know, let me just jump in. We read one of those on the Drive-Thru, and we actually have received, at least I have from the Drive-Thru email, I don't know what you've received separately, there have been several emails sent in. I'm a big fan of the show. I'm also a gay man, and it offends me that you think these guys are twinks.
Yeah. So apparently they're not attractive to the wrestling fans or the gay men in the audience, so we're just gonna call them the dumb fucks from now on. Anyway, this match, within seconds, Felix started working Pieface's right arm, so he doesn't even realize what country he's in. And they broke into some of the best cheerleading routines that I've seen since the Furnham Junior College team went to the state finals back in '89. At one point, they held hands, and both of them hopped backwards up onto the ropes and balanced on the ropes together. And that did take a lot of athletic ability. These amazing things these kids can do in these cheerleading routines these days. They held hands, hopped up on balanced on the ropes together, traded play slaps. It was just amazing choreography. But when they quit flipping and flopping about and tried to work, you come back to the visual of two child-sized wrestlers. And then they'll fly a little bit more, but then, by the way, which one was the babyface? Which one was the heel?
I had the same thought during this match, because although I think the Young Bucks are supposed to be baby faces based on everything, based on their dad getting attacked. You know, you don't attack the heel's dad. Based on everything, I thought they were the baby faces, but they constantly act like heels. They talk like heels. I don't know how much of that is just natural, they can't help it, versus they're doing it intentionally. But how is Rey Fenix a heel? He's spectacular. Whether you like him or not, whether he misses moves or not, he's a guy that it's almost impossible to not cheer for if you're into this style of wrestling.
Well, and then when they slow down and start to work, Pieface gets heat on Felix working like Dick the Bruiser. When he does the flat-footed stomps and the hammer fist to the back and everything. As a matter of fact, that's a thing. One time on a Ring of Honor TV, we had the Young Bucks against Red Titus and Kenny King, what he's worth. And we had told the Bucks, they had like 10 or 12 minutes. It's a TV main event. I know they keep saying, we were told not to do everything that gets us over. I think the most I said was, don't do 27 fucking super kicks unless you're going to win with it, whatever. But they were pissed off and mad about something because they couldn't do whatever. So they worked like Bruiser and Crusher through the whole match. And I'm in the truck and I looked at Hunter Johnston. I said, here's our fucking athletic young baby faces, and they're working like Bruiser and Crusher in the TV main event because they're pouting. Fuck these fucking guys. It's a constant issue. Anyway, they can't work, but they try to, and they end up like Bruiser and Crusher, and then they do male cheerleading, and that's what gets them over, but then it's ridiculous. So the obvious thing is some people just shouldn't be wrestlers. Anyway, they did a horrible punch exchange, old Felix and Pieface here, because neither one of them can punch. Felix can leap off the roof, do 17 cartwheels, and land on his feet in a pike position while whistling Dixie out his ass, but he can't throw a fucking punch. So this was a match at a snail's pace, punctuated by flurries of video game moves and flips. And then Pieface knocks Felix out on the floor, slides out on the floor, and gives, like the guy actually is giving the move. He gave Felix a Canadian destroyer on the floor, which is a super flipping pile driver, and rolls back in the ring, and Felix sells it like death to the 9 count, and then leaps up and jumps in the ring, and then sells dead again. And fucking here comes Pieface off the top with a Randy Savage elbow drop, covers him, 1-2, kick out. And for all the people go, oh, Cornette's so behind the times, he's so old school, he's so lost and out of touch. Let me just explain that both these guys are complete fucking idiots. And let me also explain that in any other time in professional wrestling, you would not have been able to pay Matt fucking Jackson money to do what he just did there in the middle of a match for nothing. If you had sat down with any wrestler who considered themselves a top guy or even a featured guy in any territory, a guy being used on TV, whatever, not even the champion, he said, tell you what, I'm going to slide out of the ring, and I want you to slide out of the ring, and I want you to give me a Canadian destroyer on the floor. And then when you give me a Canadian destroyer on the floor, you roll back in, I'm going to beat the count, but then you drop an elbow off the top rope on me and cover me, and I'm going to kick out at 2. That conversation would have ended in a fist fight. Nobody would have allowed that to fucking happen. If Felix had any sense at all, he would have said, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your fucking mind? You want to give me a Canadian destroyer and drop an elbow off it, and I'm going to kick out? Sure, fine. I'll do it. I look like Hulk Hogan. You look like a fucking idiot. Do you see what I'm saying, Brian? Do the people understand?
Yes.
So anyway, then for some reason they decided to do spots where they knocked out both their seconds, Balding and Pack, and then they traded some more phony punches. And then they did a spot where Pieface super kicked the shit out of Felix, and Felix flew backwards to take a bump, and without even laying there, as soon as he touched the mat, he nipped back up to his feet after being super kicked and fucking drop kicked Pieface, and then they both went down and sold. And the announcers had to say, what a burst of adrenaline. Because I bet they've seen that in a video game somewhere, and it looked cool to them. And the people were chanting, this is awesome, at all the paid fans at ringside. I wanted it to be, this is awful. Clap, 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 clap. This is awful.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Then they stood there. Actually, somebody should start that for a real heel. Like MJF, they should, this is awful. And he could be mad. Anyway, they stood there and hit each other over and over again on purpose. And then Felix suddenly reversed a tombstone and dropped Pieface on his head and beat him 1, 2, 3. Okay. What the fuck? That was flatter than a plate full of piss as far as I'm concerned. And once again, if he's a heel, okay, but if he's a babyface, you just had a fucking guy beat one of your top babyfaces with his fucking move. 1, 2, 3. I don't, help me.
Again, it's a buckaroo. The buckaroos are the fans. It's a Young Bucks match. And whether you like it or not, it's always going to be what it is, which is nonstop moves, kick out of everything until you don't. I mean, at one point, Pac sold a super kick on the floor like he was dead, and then Fenix took 2 super kicks and then jumped right back up. I mean, nothing makes any sense. Shaq is in an ambulance because he went through a table. The Young Bucks put 2 guys through tables, and they were fine. I mean, nothing on that show makes any sense, but this is what the Young Bucks do. This is their style of match, whether they're single or in tag team matches. Just nonstop spots. And that's why I think they started the show with this. This is the most action-packed match they can have on that show. Let's hope that we put it on first and people will see this and go, oh, wow, I hope there's more of that, and stay. It didn't happen.
Good luck there. Yeah, that's every time I go into a restaurant that got a C from the health department, I go, I want to eat here some more.
I'm convinced Matt Jackson can't be a babyface. Like, they'll cheer him because they like the spots.
Well, look, he's got such a slappable fucking face. He's a prick. You can tell.
And he's ignorant as fuck, but I mean, we're not even talking about him in real life. Just watching him in the ring, nothing he does is a babyface spot. He's a heel. He's a complete heel. His brother's a heel too. People cheer them because, again, cult of personality, and people like all the tricks they do.
Well, they think they're impersonating badasses, and they just come off heelish because they look so preposterous in that role as, just middle school children.
And I brought it up before. Watch them when they come out and just think to yourself, they don't know how to chew gum. It just looks like someone gave them gum for the first time and they're gone out there and they can't figure out what to do.
Hey, they came here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and they're all out of ass kicking.